Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Xbox the Box, an Xbox podcast. My name is Potato Chief, and I'm here with my good friend Proper Neko. How are you doing today?
Also known as Alice.
Uh,
So, hi all, and I hope you have a good June in the moment. Yeah.
this is the best Xbox podcast hosted by someone who has COVID, because I just got a positive
Yeah.
test. So there we go. I feel all right, so don't worry.
Yeah.
I feel
At
all
least
right,
you're
but
doing okay, so yeah. But at least you can get time off work and play games. So also you can do YouTube.
it's so sad to play video. Yeah. I'm gonna have to play video games for like a week. It's gonna suck. Oh.
Yes.
But no, yeah. So I thought it was just a cold, but it's been, yeah, it's not great. But we'll survive. I will survive, hopefully.
It depends on how much you stayed in because last weekend it was like the Galaran Festival, and it was a festival that's held in Penzance, Cornwall. So it just happens. It just comes back for the first time this year since the pandemic. So I just went to the fairground and I got a hot dog and chips. I forgot to bring cash, so I only used contactless to get that, but I couldn't get anything else like donuts and a pint of Coke. But then I just had to go through crowds, especially gigs that are right up the street. And I thought, oh, I'll be the one who's going to end up getting COVID. But I think I think it's just I get really paranoid about it so much that it just really consumes my life that I really want to stay in as much as possible. But yet I still haven't got it, and that is despite some other members of my family caught it. But then my mum and dad, touch wood, that they haven't got it yet.
Yeah, I mean, I it's one of those things, isn't it? I barely leave the house. I've been out 4 times. It feels like I've been out 3 times in a year. Basically, I've barely left the house. When my mum was visiting my sister in Australia with it, my nephews always picked up stuff in daycare and stuff, like colds and all that, and I'm surprised my mum never caught it and passed it to me. But it's just one of those things, isn't
Yeah.
it? Because
Yeah,
kids are
that's right.
they spread all the diseases. Children.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
that's
no,
why,
it's,
because
yeah.
my sister is raising a family, and two of the kids that she's got, they got caught COVID as well, and I don't know if my sister's caught it yet or not. I don't remember. But you can definitely catch it from when you look after children, especially when they go to kinder preschool or even school. So
They pick up so much stuff in kindergarten and preschool. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's just a germ fest. Everything they just they just spreading germs. So yeah, let's talk about Xbox though, because we've got a packed show to get through today. I'm really looking forward to our topic of the show, but at first we'll do as we always do. We will talk about what we've been playing. So what have you been playing, Alice?
well, I've been playing. I got. Well, Minecraft.
Yeah,
I mean, I just joined a server run by a different server, and it's got more people in, but it's got things lined up. You can get there's already the village hall. You can get some charity from other friends and give you bits of items to help you gain a few steps up. And it's not one of those featured servers. It's just a dedicated server that is a survival world, but it's got stuff like mods and the bits there, so you can be able to get started pretty quickly. So you just get in and you can be able to do things to your heart's content. But there's a problem with it. Two problems. Even though it's a Java server, you can still play on Bedrock. You just need to use a third-party DNS to trick it into thinking you're not using the DNS you get from your IP, and it just tricks the game into thinking that you need an open server list. That's the only way you can get dedicated servers through Bedrock version. But if you play on like PC or mobile, you just add server. You don't have that option on like Switch, PS5, and Xbox. Yeah, so
Yeah, so
it's just
I've been playing Minecraft as well this week. I've got back into it again. It's one of those comfort games. It's just if I'm feeling down or blue, it's just like, Minecraft. It's always my go-to. I wanted to get to the end in my Xbox Series X file. So what I did, I copied the seed, and then went in a creative mode with that seed and found where the end dungeon was, and then went back into my old world and used that to get there. So like cheats, I like cheating to get to the end. I don't care. I still need to get 9 ender eyes, and then I need to purify the eyes to stick them in the holes to open the portal. But because I've done it loads of times, but I've not done it on my Series X yet. So I haven't got the achievement on Series X for entering the end yet. So I'm excited to do that eventually.
Well, speaking of which, I was on the Realm server, because the server I mentioned about the Java thing, you get the lots of good stuff on the Java server, but the second problem is that you don't unlock achievements for it. The people who run it say they can like set it up so you can be able to unlock the achievements and get some of the Bedrock gameplay, but you just have a problem where you don't have or don't use some of their commands, which is really useful. Like if you use a command to like teleport to other people and stuff like that, and then you can choose home or back to switch between places. These commands are so good that you don't really want this server to work so you can get achievements on your Xbox or even your iPad. I still got like a bunch of things I need to unlock on the iPad iOS version, so that needs to be done.
If you go creative at all in a save file, then it no longer can get achievements on it. So that's why I cheated to find the end, because I would have just got in creative and flew there myself, but I literally copied the seed so I had the exact same world and found where it was in that world. But I can still like use I can still use like get advancement regardless if I'm playing Bedrock or not. But the only thing is, like, if you sign up as a Bedrock player, you can play it and a profile is generated for you. But if you play like for the Java version, then unless you can request for your profiles to be merged, you will be playing with different profiles, meaning separate inventories on each player. But I decided to keep it really separate, so yeah. But anyway, I also like be part of a Minecraft Realms, which is run by my friends. But I'm currently the only one who's in there, and I'm left like trying to fix up the iron farm. I've been building the storage room, complete with bricks and everything, and nobody's been on for quite some time. So I would try to persuade someone to like get to have a slot there for you to join, so that way you can just come in and enjoy my works. Yeah, that'd be fun. I was gonna say I could, especially if I'm isolated for a week because there's something to do. Have you? So there's two big free to play. Well, maybe not free to play. Two big battle royales that have come to Xboxes last week, and I played both of them as well, which is Fall Guys and Naraka Blade Point. Have you played either of those games?
Nope.
No. Fall Guys is super fun. If you haven't played it, I would recommend trying it out. It's like Mario Party, but 60 player. It's a lot of fun. The Naraka Blade Point is weird, but also kind of funny. It's like Ninja Gaiden Battle Royale. Third person hack and slash, hiding up trees and stuff, and then you jump down and like slice someone up with a sword. 60 player, I think, is the same as Fall Guys, 60 player. So obviously last person standing in both of those. Couldn't be any more different, but the fact that they're both battle royales and they both came out this week is quite funny. And Naraka Blade Point this annoys PlayStation fans when I say this, but it is an Xbox exclusive at the moment, because they go, oh, it's not an Xbox exclusive, and I'm like, well, download it on your PlayStation then if it's not an Xbox exclusive, and then they shut up then because it's not available on PlayStation yet, but it is available on Xbox. So as far as I'm aware, as far as I'm concerned, it's an Xbox exclusive for the foreseeable future until they get the PlayStation port fixed. It is one of those things that annoys PlayStation fans whenever I say it, though. Like, it's not exclusive. Play it on your PlayStation then if it's not.
I've also played some other games. I played Shredder's Revenge for just a lunch break. That's it. Just playing on my own, and I haven't got back to it yet. Then I just went over to Halo Infinite for only 10 minutes. That's it. Just checked the weekly challenges, and they have like a Mark V visor. That's it. So not much. But when I went to the shop, no dailies, and not filled with anything I want to buy, so it's just same shit or similar shit for the whole week.
I mean, 343 have kind of pissed me off this week. We're going to get into that in a bit as well. I've got a big rant lined up ready for that. I've not touched Infinite this week. I'm waiting for the Fractions event to come back so I can unlock the next couple of items.
Well, speaking of which, you can get some like shiny red and blue armor, which one person says on YouTube is like American flag. You get a skin for the armor coating for vehicles and the armor, and one says this actually looks like a Pepsi 2000 look because the way you this like really shiny red and blue. But what I find a bit awkward that even though it's like comes with a really decent price of 700, you only get a coating for just Iron Strike's armor coating and not Mark 7, and you only get it for all the Warthogs and a Razorback, so it's not much of a big deal really. There's like the one that's got red and beige on it as well, not so much, as well as the knee pads you can get for 200. They say this is actually good for like Griffball, but I mean these are just knee pads for that. But the watermelon slice, bit better than expected, but for that same price of 300 credits, you can use that money to buy that real watermelon. This is actually what is brought up on Reddit when they discussed about the shop. It's $3, and for that $3, you use it to buy a real watermelon for, say, Lidl, for instance.
Yeah. It's back to our Dragon's Dogmas with a McDonald's argument we had last week. Real world prices are weird when you think about it, especially when it comes to cosmetics. Oh my god.
Well, I think it's going to be a choice where you can either spend your hard-earned money on like croissants and other foods. With that money, you can get yourself fed for that price.
Yeah.
Or you can just like spend it on cosmetics. That's like only like digital and something that is no value to anyone else. So
no, it's a complete waste of money. I am definitely, when it comes to microtransactions, I am definitely boomer or old man yells at cloud attitude when it comes to microtransactions. I'm definitely like you damn kids ruined it for me. Back in my day, we didn't do microtransactions. I'm in that camp at the moment. Speaking of which, we can get into the news in a sec if you'd like. We got a couple of new items.
Let's do it. You've got all the weight in your chest.
I am very angry. Go. I am very angry. Fuck you, 343. There, I've said it. I had to get off my chest. Seriously, guys, I am your number one defender. Every week on this podcast, we talk about how they mess things up, and I'm like, there's not that bad. They can fix it. No, fuck you. You've really crossed the line here. You've gone too far, right? It's bad enough that you like Halo. So basically, ever since 343 took over Halo, I got a rant. This has been building up since 3 o'clock this morning last night. So ever since 343 have took over Halo 4 had a good campaign, was rubbish multiplayer. Halo 5 had decent multiplayer, but it was full of loot boxes and shit like that. And then Infinite is like, I really enjoyed Infinite. I thought it was really good, but there's not been enough content, and it's been bogged down with microtransactions. So basically, they've not made a good Halo game, or like nothing has hit the same standards as Bungie's Halo games. And now the games that Bungie made, the Master Chief Collection, are now getting microtransactions. What the fuck? This game has been out for 8 years, and now they're charging you extra money to play it. It is absolutely absurd. So if you haven't heard the news, this is my rant. I'm off on one now. But Bungie 343 have announced that they will be adding microtransactions, or they are thinking about adding microtransactions, which means they are going to add them, but they wanted to see how the internet was going to react. We're going to add microtransactions by changing season points to Spartan points. So if you don't know how Master Chief Collection works, you unlock season points by leveling up, by playing certain things, by playing the single player, by doing multiplayer, all sorts of stuff like that. Now, if you want to unlock those points, you can unlock them by playing the game, or you can give them extra money. They're now nickel and diamond as being predatory, and it is very annoying. I listened to Xbox podcast yesterday, the IGN one, and all the girls on the podcast, forgot Miranda, I think her name was saying how they need to add microtransactions to run the game. Oh, this is a Microsoft game. They have the money. They don't need to microtransaction us. They've sold this game to us. They sold this game to us for 60 quid, and a lot of people bought it, and then a lot of people have paid money into Game Pass. You do not need to add microtransactions to this game to keep it running. It is complete bullshit, and it has made me very angry. As you might be able to tell. I mean, I was going to make a video, ironically, I was telling you about this the other day, I was going to make a video about how Halo 3 is still the greatest multiplayer game of all time, because it came out just before the invention of microtransactions. So it has Forge mode with customizable maps, it has, they had DLC maps, they had all these modes, custom modes, and it was just constantly new content, and you got to unlock stuff. And if you saw someone in a katana outfit, they'd be like, "Ooh, that's a cool outfit. Where'd you get that from?" "Oh, I had to beat the story mode in Legendary to get it." Or Flaming Helmet. "Oh, he works for Bungie." Like, you see the cosmetics, and you're like, "Wow, how did they get them?" They actually unlocked them, not paid money to get them. So it's just like, I was going to say about how great Halo 3 is, and now there's no way of playing Halo 3 without playing it on this shitty microtransaction-filled version that is in the Master Chief Collection, which has really made me very angry. Because I'm like, I want to play Halo 3 the way it was meant to be played. I want to go back to 2007, I think it came out. I want to go back to when it came out. I'm an old man yelling at a cloud, because I know it's not going to change, because people keep paying money to these microtransactions, and they keep funding them. And then they keep doing it, and it's making me mad. I'm gonna bloody... I'm so angry.
You say you're the old man, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm literally a skeleton about a year older.
I mean, oh my god, I feel like but it feels like when like most people, like I feel like the people growing up under us, our younger generation, are more cool with microtransactions. I fucking hate microtransactions. I hate them so much. If it's a free-to-play game, I'm like, okay, fine, it's free-to-play. But Master Chief Collection is a full retail game, and they get money from Game Pass. It's not like, and it's like, it's a Microsoft game. It's not like Microsoft are like scrounging for pennies on the. They're not like, go and spare change. We need funding. Like, no, you've got money coming out your ass. You don't need more money from us. You should, like, this is just this is like basically I'm really angry. They're ruining Halo. Like, Halo is the best series that Xbox has, and they're ruining it. And I'm usually the biggest offender of 343, but seriously, fuck you guys. Seriously, I don't care anymore. I'm not going to defend you guys anymore. This is the straw that has broken the camel's back. I am fucking fuming. There. I think I've got it off my chest.
Yeah. 343 is actually going for the more business-oriented approach, because Halo Infinite they tip the balance so they can get people to buy more stuff on there. And you're probably thinking like as if they would be lowering of store prices, try to be really play nice with other people. But then the thing is, like, 343, like, they try to aim for something that is really competitive. And when they just do the store prices, it kind of contradicts their message. So I think I can see, like, two thought processes that might come out of this for them. Like, Master Chief Collection. You're struggling to catch up on the season points. So what do they do about it? Like, they offer Spartan points for money. Oh, do you need to get all the items there, but you feel you're not going to be able to, like, run out of season points for it? Well, give them more money. Or they just, like, see this as opportunity to receive way more money than the stupendous amount of money they can get from Halo Infinite. I mean, people have been buying stuff in the shop. I bought a lot of stuff in the shop, and yet they're not giving so much for free. And even like you go through the game, the multiplayer, and you just don't get little reward. Like, because with all those armor cores, you just don't even like get enough content to go with it. And that is unless you had to pay them more money for this shit. I mean, this is just... It's just not on. They don't have dailies. They not. Yeah, that's right. Because
yeah, they're not. They said that now they finished. Oh, the blog post. It starts off the blog post by saying, "We have updated Halo Master Chief Collection for 8 years by adding all these features in for you, and we've done it all out of the goodness of our heart." Not the fact that we bought the game or anything. They're basically like they start the blog post like that. Like, now that being said, if you want us to keep making the game for the next 8 years, we're gonna charge you extra money. And it's like, no, that's not cool. That's not cool to me. I don't understand.
Well,
like
they're still making the content for Master Chief Collection when they obviously got Halo Infinite to save. Like, look, Master Chief Collection has got 4 or 5, well, even 6 definitive games on it, and they still adding content from like Halo Online and even some new content to go with it. But then, like, why bother with that when if you're going to release Halo Infinite, especially as a live service, then obviously you have to like get enough content to keep it going. And so far, Season 2 is just like trying to scrape up a barrel. Oh, the tools break. You buy tools for extra money, even the ones that are like really strong, so you can scrape more shit from the barrel. Like even the mold that is like putting on your armor. So it's just like they're just trying to show you commitment by spending more on stuff, which they do not have a lot up front. So, like, this is definitely them. Like, I know this is, like, unfair to say accuse them or call them out for, like, demanding more money than their commitment.
Call them out for Alice. So, call them out.
But I think it's becoming more obvious that they're just willing to see any opportunities that if they're able to get profit from, like, any of those things, then they utilize that, and that's how they just turn season points into Spartan points so you can get online. But put it this way, they have like things where you get season points and they have content that cycle around, but obviously they just like giving the people the option to be able to spend more on Spartan points and get more stuff. But I think this is literally them like trying to milk people's wallets. Like if you think about it, like you say the Halo 3 came out in 2007. I even went into the Wear presentation at Newport University. They had the dev kit, the Xbox stuff, and one of the things they mentioned from the person who worked with Wear, apparently you only get like less than a quarter of the sales from each Xbox game, and that's all you get for the studio, even though you sell thousands of copies. But now, not only you can like get more for digital sales, but now it's just like you're expecting people to own their own copy of the game and even like spend more money on cosmetic items. So it's just literally the opposite of what they're getting in the past. So you can definitely tell that 343, among other companies, have followed the route of EA because they literally like get microtransactions into the whole game and everything else. So it's just not right.
It's bullshit. I can't stand it. It makes me really mad. I mean, if you want to be, I'm going to be devil's avocado on this one. The devil's advocate. I'm going to try and spin it into what people, the argument people will be making is like, well, they've been maintaining this game for 8 years. If they want to keep them maintaining it, they need to keep getting money to keep going. And I'm like,
no,
that's bullshit. Because we spent, this game made millions, billions, lots of money. It's made lots of money already, and it's a Microsoft game. It's not like they're, as I said, they're owned by Microsoft. This should be this Xbox, like Phil Spencer, if you're listening, Sarah Bond, anyone from Xbox, right? You should say, stop this now, get rid of these microtransactions. This should be your flagship game on Game Pass. This should be it. You should be like,
yeah,
this is the multiplayer that you buy Game Pass to play. You should try and focus on that and not be like, get Game Pass, oh, and then give us more money, and give us more money, and give us more money, and give us more money. It just feels like you're greedy. We know you're being greedy. Everyone sees you're being greedy. No one likes it, and it completely taints your brand. Halo should be this untouchable thing on a plinth. You should be treating it like delicately, but you fucked it up so many times, and it's making me furious because Halo is one of my favorite series of all time. Halo 3 is my favorite multiplayer of all time, and it's just, you keep fucking it up. And I know I'm probably going to get demonetized for swearing, but fuck you, I don't care. I'm very angry and I need to get it off my chest. Okay?
Well, alright, if this is like the 90s, then obviously the Master Chief Collection will be like sold for a tenner. Instead, you still pay it like a full price, and now they expect you to pay more for it. So
yeah, it's bullshit. I can't stand it. It makes me really mad. As I said, the Halo 3 was my favorite multiplayer of all time because it didn't have all. It was like, it was perfect. It was the peak of shooters before the microtransaction bullshit sneaked in, and it's like so predatory and dirty and disgusting and gross. It's like people are like, oh, NFTs are the horrible thing, which they are, but microtransactions, people have just kind of let microtransactions go now. I'm never ever cool with microtransactions in full price games. You paid for the game, that's it. You should have the game. You shouldn't have to pay extra to keep playing it. If it was up to me, Halo Infinite is free to play, air quotes. I would have much preferred just to pay $60 and have it day one and have everything. That's what I want. I want to just buy a game and own everything and not be nickeled and dined and feel like I'm being milked for money constantly. It's disgusting. And it's horrible. And it's like, people go, oh, don't worry, it's only the whales who cover it. Like, dehumanizing people, calling people whales, who basically people who have gambling addictions or some kind of mental illness that makes them spend money they don't have on microtransactions and put themselves into debt and making themselves ill. It's like, oh, they're just the whales. They're just the whales. They cover. They're the ones we want. We're not trying to get your money. We're just trying to get monies off. We're just trying to bankrupt random people who have these mental illnesses. It makes me really mad. like do immoral or whatever it's called, immortal. There's been people spending £15,000 on microtransactions just to level up, and it's like insane.
that is wrong.
What is wrong with that's the problem, is people pay it, and then you got these whales who pay it, like, and I don't like even calling them whales because I feel like, as I said, it's dehumanizing people. But you got these microtransactions, you got these things just, it's so bad. I feel old, but it's like, I want to go back to 2007 when my multiplayer games were just multiplayer games and I didn't have to buy extra stuff to keep playing. Like Modern Warfare 1 and Halo 3, I just like Gears of War 1 and 2, and now I can't even go back to Halo 3 because they've turned the bloody servers off. It's infuriating.
Yeah.
And it's upsetting. It really is.
Yeah, I think it's really, really corrupt because if you somehow advocating to these whales, then they will obviously think like, oh, the system is always going to work because you're always going to get people paying in the game, and it kind of like leaves the poorer people into the dirt. So I mean, you don't have all the money in the world to buy all the Halo Infinite microtransactions, because if I had all the money in the world, I would have easily got all of it. But then that was just literally saying, oh, you're one of the star customers who keeps buying this shit. So if you buy more shit from it, they release more shit, and poorer people will be like missing out most of it. So
I mean,
this is it.
It adds like almost like a class system into video games, which is ridiculous. Like it's like I play video games to escape the real world. It's like, I try and pay my bills and like live to make money, and it's like, oh, you're poor, you got the basic skin, like that kind of attitude. It's just like, it's just wrong. It's horrible. I hate it, and I hate free to play games. And if I wanted to play free to play games, I would play play games. I don't want this bullshit entering my full price games.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the straw that broke the camel's back for me, because I've always been team 343, and now I'm like, nah, fuck them. Get someone else on Halo because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I'm really furious about it.
I'm in Cornwall at the moment, and they're planning to put the space station there. Ooh. So I think I don't know, because if they ever build that, I'll forget it. Like, I think I would just rather like go to one place that is not ruled by capitalism.
Yeah, well,
space
capitalism. You play the Outer Worlds. That's full of space capitalism.
No, space is where communism is there. No capitalism, not allowed. Like the class system, everyone is equal. So space.
Yeah.
That is unless you want to call the aliens to come over and define what is capitalism to you all idiots.
Yeah, it's so space capitalism.
But speaking of old, But speaking of older games,
Ooh.
Sonic Origins came out about last week and seems to get favourable reviews. Someone wasn't happy about it, and it comes by the name of, I think it's Stealth, the developer behind the game, a part of a headcanon. He said that he wasn't impressed with the state of Sonic Origins comes, because apparently they went into the crunch, they worked on the game with a lot of hard work, and then when they sent it over to like Sega to integrate it into Sonic Origins, they just ended up with more bugs, and the performance wasn't that great. And it's just because it just leads to him and his team not very happy about the state of the product. So this is just messed up. Like, I think there's a certain IGN editor, which I would rather not speak too much, but there's one IGN editor who had played the game and feels that his statement is unnecessary. But there's literal evidence of bugs happening in that Sonic Origins, even the old games, where there's people on Twitter saying, oh, I just stepped into the bug and fell out of the place, with Tails dying off screen a lot of times. And there's even the Digital Foundry, one of the best channels who does in-depth tech reviews of games. They have found bugs in Sonic Origins. So it's just for this reason that Sonic Origins is buggy, and Headcan is not very happy with the state of the product. So I think it's probably best, like as many have said, just wait for it to come out, stay out for the year, wait for the sales to come, and by then they should be able to fix the stuff out. Although it's even a bit more awkward when they're selling DLC for like £3 each for like extra backgrounds, and you even get music tracks with Knuckles Chaotix and Sonic Spinball. But it's just like, I don't know if I would spend £6 extra for the package that only contains 4 Mega Drive games that has been reworked to fit on a widescreen TV. So
yeah. I mean, that's all I was going to say. Surely, how was it so many bugs? Surely you were just getting the original game and just stretching them to widescreen. That's literally it, right? I mean, that seems weird to me. then I know there's probably more to it than that.
It's not. It's not as simple as that, because you see, someone has to reverse engineer that game, and then they have to rewrite it into like a more common programming language like C# or C++. I don't know, and then they would just get it done. So it'll be compatible with a different amount of platforms. Like, they got the games ready for the mobile and they work, but then somehow they got it on the mobile for years. They got Sonic CD on like the console, but now it's just like they got Sonic's 1, 2, and Sonic 3 and Knuckles on the console, and now they just got bugs. So I think it's just really a poor management on Sega's side. Speaking of which, you know the music for Carnival Night, Ice Cap Zone, and Launch Bait Zone?
Is Michael Jackson.
They got it's being replaced with prototype tracks. So now you can be able to get to play Sonic 3 without having to worry about rights management to do with Michael Jackson's music.
That's
but
a shame. I like Michael
they
Jackson's music.
But they are worse. The prototype music, they got a crisp, and it's just like half complete. But they just literally got the MIDI files, like converted them into the Sega Genesis sound font, and now they just sounds like they're a bit muffled, and they're much worse than the prototype tracks. And that is just like a big fuck you to those who have like remastered the music so it can have more clarity and better instruments. And Sega's not taking notice of that. They're just like doing a half-assed job to get the games working with that music in. So this is just all levels of fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, it's so weird to me. This should be the easiest cash grab ever. All you have to do is literally get these free games and put them on a new console. I don't understand how you can fuck it up so badly. This is just mental.
Well,
I don't
there's
understand.
Sonic Mega Collection. They got all the Mega Drive titles. They also got Sonic Gems Collection, which they got Sonic CD, Sonic R, and stuff like that. And they have yet to re-release Knuckles Chaotix, which is only out on the 32X, where other people have been playing it through ROMs or stuff like that. But nope, Sega is not really interested to like put it on the later generation of consoles. There's like Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection, which comes out on the PS3 and Xbox 360, not backwards compatible with Xbox. Oh, what do they do about it? They see the remastered Sonic games and put it on the package, which you'll pay for about 32 quid. So, yeah.
I'm not sold on it. I feel like if you really want to play Sonic in 2D, get Sonic Mania, because that game is actually really good and really well designed and really probably my favourite Sonic game of all time. I would recommend getting Sonic Mania. Don't get this. This sounds terrible.
Or you can buy a Mega Drive or even the retro consoles that can play Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and a medley on it. So, Sonic Mega Collection is really great. If you have an Xbox, you can get the Sega Mega Drive Ultimate Collection on it. You only get to play it on the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3, but you only get like Sonic's 1 and 2. So, I'm not fussed on that really. I'm was thinking of getting Sonic Origins, but now you've pointed this out to me. I'm not going to be buying it anytime soon. So thank you for telling me about that. Just wait until it gets better, but it just depends if Sega is willing to listen to the fans and gets to fix it. But I think this Sega hasn't been really good at managing things, and just sees it as more of a business point of view than like trying to make this really comprehensive and a reason for people to get off their Mega Drives or analog SGs and play Sonic 1 in a much better quality. But instead, it's just like it's like you bite into a cupcake that's got cinnamon in it, only it's got a half-baked less baked center in it. So
I like cinnamon. maybe,
yeah, me too.
maybe in a smaller dosage. I don't know. So I'm trying to. I was
Mum
trying to think.
hates cinnamon though.
I was trying to think of a really good transition, but I really can't think of anything. Xbox have outsold PlayStation in Japan. I mean, that's it. We're done, right? Consoles are over. We agreed that because Xbox outsold PlayStation for 1 week in Japan, that we can now say Xbox is the definitive best console. We can say that, right?
And 10 years ago, Xbox 360 it's hardly been sold, and it's not the kind of brand name you expect in Japan. Like, they're not selling a lot of consoles there, and it's not getting a lot of Japanese games. So you can either get a mobile device, Nintendo Switch, or you get lots of Japanese games on the PlayStation 4. But now it just seems like it's gone topsy-turvy. PlayStation has done the disservice to Japanese gamers for many reasons, and now Xbox is playing nice with them. So now they just like got the audience like moving over to the Xbox, and now you get things like Persona and all those other Japanese games on there as well, which means it could all change. It's amazing.
I mean, because we think we talked about this last week. It feels like so Sony's moved to America, and now their new console is this big bulking behemoth that takes up half a room, and it's massive and in a massive eyesore. Whereas Xbox, yeah, you have the big console, but then they also have the nice, sleek, small Xbox Series S, which is more practical for like the Japanese audience, and they're bringing in more and more Japanese games, and it's like feels like Xbox are focusing more on Japan than Sony are, which is weird. That is a weird thing to think. I agree with you there, and it's strange. But the thing is, Sony, they still got Final Fantasy VII. That's a big deal in Japan, and big deal worldwide, really. So that's the next big hurdle is Xbox needs to get that big JRPG exclusive to their system. That's the big next.
Don't forget Final Fantasy 16 though,
and 16 and 14 and all the Final Fantasies, basically apart from Crisis Core, which is coming to Xbox, which is weird, but hey, I'll take it.
Bring Phantasy Star to Xbox.
I've said it once and I'll say it again. Xbox, buy Sega. It makes all the sense in the world. It makes so much sense. It's ridiculous.
There was a rumor where they would rebrand their Xbox consoles in Japan with a Sega logo on it.
Yeah, call them the Sega Xbox. I totally think that would work. And then you'd have all the Personas, all the Yakuzas, all the Japanese. You would have like this big Japanese like collection of games and stuff in Game Pass, and you would be able to bring exclusive Japanese games out. I mean, I say it all the time. Buy Sega, just do it. Yeah.
Did you get around to getting the Xbox Series S? I know you got that Series X, but no. Series S?
I would love to get a Series S, but I haven't got one yet. No.
I think the difference is that I was skeptical because I think it's like a lesser powered version of it. But I think thinking about it, it's like it only goes best like 1080p, doesn't have a disk drive, and has half the storage on it. But I would imagine they would like use this as a base to like get better technology on it and remain as small as like Xbox Series S and turn into a huge household product.
It is, yeah. It's designed, as you just said, it's less powerful, hasn't got a disk drive, doesn't have has the memory. But the key thing you want to remember is it's nearly £200 cheaper than the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. So it's like you're saving a lot of money by buying this thing. If you don't care about 4K and you don't care about getting your games on disc, and you don't mind moving your games around on the memory card, then you that's a good deal for you. I think that's great. I'm considering buying one at some point because I play Xbox so much. It'd be useful to get one in my office or in the downstairs living room on the big screen.
Also easier too. Like you can sign in anywhere on any Xbox. You just sign in on both consoles and you don't have a problem with it. That's all you had to do. The only thing is you only have to allow one of your Xboxes as your primary, so you can get to play them offline. If you play on any of the systems, though, you need to have an online connection in order to play the games on it. But apart from that, it is stupidly easy to play games on any Xbox system. Plus the Series S, they're now pushing out cloud gaming, so now you could be able to play with the best quality, provided you got internet.
Yeah. So I was going to say, you can also play any Xbox game you want on a tablet or phone as long as you have good internet. I have a tablet in my office which I basically use for Xbox, and it works quite well. When they're also thinking of bringing out a Chromecast like dongle you can stick in your TV, so people don't even have to buy the consoles going forward. They're just going to have this stick, and they can play the games from there. Or it might even be built into the TV. The new Samsung TVs have it built in, free cloud Xbox, which is mad to me.
If you think about it, when Xbox One came out, it's slightly bigger than the Xbox, the original Xbox. Xbox One is like a huge, massive thing. But when the Xbox One X came out, I bought it. It's way smaller. It's way thinner than the latest Xboxes, and it's like one of the best consoles I ever owned because it's small, sleeker, and quieter, and does everything you need to do it on, especially with discs. So it's perfect.
I mean, I went from, to be honest, I went from the Xbox One to the Series X and like the original base Xbox One, the chunky thing. So I never really got to see what the Xbox One X was like, but I've heard it's great. So,
Anyway,
so yeah.
Wait a minute, you didn't own like the Xbox One X?
No, I never owned the Xbox One X. I already had the Xbox One and I went straight to the Series X. Yeah.
You really missed out there because Xbox One X, it's unbelievably small and it's very practical.
Yeah,
but speaking of like PlayStation 5, which is actually much bigger than the Xbox One original, I think.
Well, it's bigger than
comics,
most things in general, to be honest. It's bigger than like most people's house or living space, to be honest. The PS5.
Well,
bigger than most children.
There's a PlayStation 5 Slim.
Yeah, you did send me this. I haven't seen this. So someone has built a PS5 Slim. Can you explain what this is about? Because I haven't seen this.
DIY Perks is a YouTube channel that specializes in projects that pushes the technology to deliver quieter and sleeker systems. Like they did a pre-beam PC by using a mechanism that pushes air in to cool the system, amongst other things. And this guy has been like working with PlayStation 5s. I think he like got them reduced into a smaller size. But now he did like a PlayStation 5 Slim. The PlayStation 5 is a bulky thing. He took out all the components, right down to the motherboard. And what he did is like he cleaned it up, took the liquid metal off the processor, and then he fitted a copper plating in so it can be water cooled. He just like got the copper plating done from scratch and just put it in the console in the copper casing. But there's some caveats with it. You can't use it as a solar system. Well, single system. It needs to be connected to the radiator that's complete with fans and also a power brick that you have to hook it up in the back. So it's not exactly the Slim. It's a PlayStation 5 in 2 pieces. Or 3 pieces, if you will.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, like it comes with a massive power adapter that has with many fans. But if you watch for the video, towards the end, like it was all working and then somehow it got broke and the chips got fried because the radiators had its fans blocked. So he has to get one on loan for the PlayStation 5. Took a chip out, fixed everything, and now it's working, provided you get enough air for the radiator that cools the water down. So...
I mean, the PS5 is... Because I own a PS5 as well as an Xbox, if people don't know. It is huge! It's like, I thought it was big from pictures, but when you actually get one in your hand, it's like, bloody hell. It is ridiculously oversized. So I feel like I should have waited for a slim build, but it doesn't sound like we're gonna get one anytime soon if this guy's melting melting the motherboards and stuff, trying to make it slim. Oh my god! I mean, Xbox. I feel like Xbox have got more powerful, bigger components and stuff in their Xbox, but it seems to be more slimline, right? I mean, I feel like it is. I don't want to sound. I know it sounds fanboyish to say it, but I feel like the Xbox is much better designed, like in under the hood, right? I don't. Is that too much? Am I being a bit too much of a fanboy saying that? Because I feel like the PS5, they've kind of the fans on its side, which makes it even like they're another foot taller. And then the disc drive looks like it's just been shoved onto the side of the console. Whereas the Xbox, it is literally all designed within this box. And it does.
Now, I get that people have been joking, like, the Winston Churchill statue that's been covered with concrete fences around it. Someone joked, it's like, oh, it looks like the Xbox Series X. Well, I showed them the picture of the PlayStation 5 that looks like a wireless router with pieces of paper attached to it. So,
yeah. I mean, you could argue that both work ugly. I prefer the Xbox in design, though. I feel like it's more, it's like maybe it's a bit more, maybe it's like more brutal and like, but I feel like it's just, I don't know, I feel like it's sleeker to me, even though the PlayStation's got all these like curves and like these fins coming off here, which make it look sleeker. Air quotes. I think it makes it look really over designed, like.
Yeah.
I feel like it's over-designed, if anything.
Do you have Sky? Do you have Sky Q?
No, I don't. No, I don't have Sky.
But Sky Q is like a small box that's like really slim. I would prefer games consoles to be that small. Like, doesn't rely on so many fans. Because all you need is just like having something that is easy to set up by HDMI and play all the games, but I think the trouble is that people are expecting so much from games, like ray tracing and stuff like that, and you get bigger consoles to be able to satisfy that demand, when obviously you really do need something like a Xbox Series S, or even like smaller game consoles like Nintendo Switch, because I think, if you think about the Japanese market, they favour smaller consoles, whereas in America, people expect bigger things. And in the UK, we're pretty much in between. But the truth is, smaller consoles are better because these are game consoles. And it's just something you really want to sit down and relax. Not something you need to get best out of it. Yeah. I mean, this is a bit of a take. But yeah, it's just smaller the console, the more practical it is. I mean, which is why when Xbox 360 is announced, like they got a wired controller and there's the console that can play Xbox Live Arcade. This would have been perfect, but instead it's like try to push for the hard drive setup and wireless controllers, and it's just only when like it's not like the PlayStation 2, because this is the last great PlayStation before bulkier consoles come over, which is like PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4.
I mean, that's why I think the Xbox Series S is such a great system. I haven't got one yet, but it looks beautiful. Honestly, I think it looks really okay. People say it looks like a speakerphone or whatever, but I think it looks great from what I've seen of it. And it's like tiny, it's a little tiny console. And I was like, I like, as you said, I like sleek little consoles like that. And I feel like the Japanese market have obviously gone towards it, because in our previous news article, they have sold more than a PlayStation, which is kind of crazy. Obviously, we had the semiconductor issues and stuff, but I still think it's mad that Xbox are selling more than PlayStation. At least, I know it's only 1 week, but it's a sign that we might be the tides might be churning a little bit. So we've been talking for an hour. We haven't actually got to our topic of the show yet. I mean, is there anything else we wanted to talk about slim PS5s before we move on to the big topic?
Do it, because I don't really have a lot of time, so best to deal with this. Let's say if we try to sort this out in like 30 minutes, then we can get this over.
Speed run! Today's topic of the show is Game of the Year. So far. Game of the Year so far. Game of the Year so far. This is the game of the
Game of the yeah.
I thought we were trying to be quick here. All right, okay. So what we're going to do is we have a top 3 each of what our favourite game is from. We have played this year so far from January to well, we're at the end. We're about to go into July, so January to July, and then we got from games coming out from today onwards. Are going to be our. We have a top 3 list from them as well, which is our number 1 contenders who could beat our current game of the year. So let's talk about what our current games of the year are. We have a top 3 each. Do you want to go first, or shall I go first? It's up to you.
Go first, because yours is predictable.
Ooh, ouch. Oh, shot to the heart. Ow. Well, my top 3, number 3, I have changed like 6 times. My top 2 have been the same constantly. But my number 3 is WWE 2K22, because it's the game I've had the most fun with. One of the games I've had the most fun with this year. They brought back GM mode, and you know how much I love wrestling. I mean, this channel is essentially a wrestling channel. My YouTube channel, Potato Chief on YouTube. Check it out. Wrestling reactions. So yeah, I really love my wrestling. WWE 2K22 has the story mode of Rey Mysterio. It has general manager mode, which is fun because I love just like sorting out rosters and stuff. I think that's a lot of fun. What else is there? There's loads of people to play as, and the customizable stuff's really fun. But yeah, so that is my current number 3 game of the year. What is your number 3 game of the year, Alice?
Well, before you move on, I'm really pleased you are actually enjoying it, because years ago when there's like WWK, is it 2019 or 2018? You did a video which is really popular on your YouTube channel where it got rid of your save file, and you got really pissed about it.
Yes,
which led to your videos got one of the best thumbnails ever made.
Yeah.
You make the really angriest face there in front of a fire with the bin there.
Yes.
It should be for the podcast thumbnail of the week, because I think the real theme is like complaining about Master Chief Collection.
I did the same thing, the same thumbnail sort of, for my "You Shouldn't Buy The Last of Us Part 1" video that I put up this week. The remake of The Last of Us Part 1. That's also in a trash can, and I'm also angry at that. It's not quite as good, obviously, because it hasn't got the views, but yeah.
I turned it into a meme too. Like, I used the art bot, and like, you got this like really angry face, and it's all red. And then I just gave it a smile, and you find it really disturbing.
It is very disturbing. I don't like it. I don't like it. But yeah, WWE games have been a big part of my YouTube channel for years. I wanted to do some stuff for it, the current game, because the current game is actually really fun. I wanted to do videos, but my capture card's not really working, and I would have to record it in my office, and no one ever watches them, so I just couldn't be bothered, to be honest. I wanted to bring back all Chief Wrestling. I might do that for the next game that comes out. I need to try and figure out my recording setup so I can actually stream stuff from my Xbox, because at the moment, nothing's plugged. I can't record gameplay. The only way I can record gameplay is by using the built-in capture device on the Xbox, which
that's disappointing, really.
Yeah.
But I think what you should really get more views is that famous flyweight championship. Colonel Sanders going against all the other Colonel Sanders.
Yeah.
Now, that is
Colonel
what I call wrestling.
Who is the real Colonel Sanders?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was so dumb.
The one who does the best fried chicken.
The flyweight.
Oh, watch out for... Yeah. Ronald McIlroy comes over and just kicks their asses. I mean, there should be a huge series then, just like PCCW.
Yeah, PCCW.
Flyweight Championship deserves a real series. And that's coming out from me.
Yeah, the flyweight. Yeah. We had, what was it? Ronald Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura changed from Colonel Sanders to a lookalike of Ronald McDonald. That was fun. That was so random. I enjoyed doing it though. It was fun. As I said, I would love to do more of that, but my capture card's currently broken, so I need to get a new one. Yeah. And no one watches them anyway, so it's like, I
do.
I think you're the only person who watches my video. If you want,
I even been showing it on Discord, like showing the flyweight championship. you should make clips of it so I can share more of this, and even on Reddit, because it's just whenever we're talking about fried chicken and wrestling, we've got Colonel Sanders fighting and put it over there, and that's how I just got people into PCCW. That's how you get more views on it.
PCCW. Even though now I've changed it to ACW, but it's okay. All Chief Wrestling. ACW. 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 So yeah, that's my number 3 game of the... We got off track. That was my number 3 game of the year. WWE 2K22. Good fun. If you like wrestling games, this is actually quite a good one this year. They would do a good one because they've been rubbish for the last couple of years. So, yay! They've actually made a decent one. Still not perfect, but it's better than it was. So, yay. Alice, what is your number 3?
Actually, I would prefer you do 2 or 1 first, and then I'll do like top 3.
Okay, so you rather me do...
It's for the surprises.
Yeah, because
I would keep them.
Because to be honest, I have no clue what your top 3 are. You know what my top 3 is probably. I mean,
I don't know about 2.
I think the people watching my video might know what my number 1 is. I'm moving my head back and forth in front of the green screen. Okay. My number 2 is not an Xbox game, so this is because I haven't mentioned that yet. That our top 3s also contain other platforms, so don't be too mad. My number 2 is Pokemon Arceus because that game was fun. It was essentially open world Pokemon where you catch Pokemon with Pokeballs without having to battle them. You just sneak up on them and bonk them over the head with a Pokeball. and it was like old timey. It was basically, I've been a Pokemon fan my whole life, like ever since I was a kid. And Pokemon Red's one of my favorite games of all time because I grew up with it. And this is the first Pokemon game in a while that's felt new and fresh and interesting. And I think, you know, the new Pokemon game coming out at the end of the year might be just as good. But this was so much fun, Arceus. I really enjoyed it. I mean, did you play Pokemon Arceus at all?
No, because I can tell you the reason is the series has got a huge fatigue that got to me.
Yeah.
Like, Pokemon Sword and Shield are the last games so far that I just feel like I'm really fed up with Pokemon. Many people liked it and it has many good moments with it, but it's half-baked and it wasn't as fun as Pokemon Sun and Moon or even Pokemon Black and White, which is my pick of those games there. I know that people stand by Gold and Silver and Heart Gold and Soul Silver are really superior games. I also like Pokemon Platinum, but Pokemon Black and White is just like the peak of the franchise, which since then got really worse. Pokemon Sun and Moon, okay, but a bit heavy-handed.
I didn't like Sun and Moon.
Sword and Shield, yeah. Sword and Shield is like half-baked and not so good, and I said it. But when you have like Diamond and Pearl remakes, which is Shining Diamond and Brilliant Pearl. I don't know. It was just Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I think so.
They're not. Yeah,
I didn't get those in the end because these are literally like remasters without adding new. Like they didn't add so many features in, and they don't even have the best bits from Platinum. So I skipped those. And I got really fed up, like how Sword and Shield didn't welcome all the Pokemon in. So that's when I just got really fed up, and I ended up not getting Pokemon Legends Arceus.
See, that's the thing. Pokemon Legends Arceus is probably the biggest, newest, refreshing take on Pokemon in a long time. It's totally different. It feels totally new and fresh and interesting. It's almost like got like a Dark Souls or like a Monster Hunter feel to it. Like you go hunting monsters, you go like dodge and do dodge rolls and stuff. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird, but it's kind of cool. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was better than, it was one of the best Pokemon games that's come out in the last decade probably. I really enjoyed it.
I heard some good praise from other people, and they've given it like good reviews, so it's really good.
I would say recommend it.
Because like I got the Game Pass and trying to manage my money as well.
Yeah.
I just feel hesitant when it comes to owning Arceus.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking,
that's fair.
I think I'd be thinking twice before I would get that. But if I were to play that for hours, then it will be definitely really good.
Yeah.
But I already got too much of a back catalogue to even like play that.
That's fair.
Which I'm going to contradict myself of the top 3.
Yeah, okay, well, we'll see. I'll have a look at your top 3 in a minute. I mean, I've got a massive back catalogue as well. I've as I said, I bought the PS5 not that long ago, and I've barely touched it. So it's like my backlog is ridiculous. I got Ratchet and Clank, God of War 1, Demon Souls, Ghost of Tsushima, I'm thinking about Returnal, Horizon 2, Death Stranding, the director's cut, and then I've got on my Xbox. I want to play more Elden Ring. I want to put all these new games coming out in the next couple of months. I want to play, and like on my Switch, it's a lot. I don't blame you by saying that you've got too much to play. I don't blame you at all for that. I can totally understand that. But if you do feel like getting back into Pokemon at some point, I recommend Arceus. Or maybe the new one, because the new one's supposed to be very similar to Arceus as well. But we'll probably discuss that a bit later. So my number 1, do you want to know what my number 1? You know what my number 1 is. Should I say what my number 1 is?
Do it!
Elden Ring!
Elden Ring! I do have this album where I often pronounce W and R's the wrong way round.
Yeah.
So I would like, Elden Ring! Well, it's actually Elden Ring.
I love...
Did I say that right?
Yes, I think you did. I love Elden Ring so much. It is unbelievable. I own Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne, Demon Souls, and I've never been in any of them before. This is the one. This is my Souls game. This is my this is the one that I love the most. This is it's so look at my background. It's Elden Ring. So good. I don't know what to say. It's just such a great game. I can't say enough about it. This is probably my favourite game I've played since Breath of the Wild on the Switch. And Breath of the Wild is one of my favourite games of all time. So take that as what you want. It was probably my game of the decade. We're doing our game of the year. This is our game of the year discussion. So this is my game of the year so far. I don't see in any way possible that this will not be my game of the year at the end of the year. I cannot see any game taking this over because this game is a masterpiece. It is brilliant. It is fantastic. I know it is such a good game. I have a list of contenders. I'm looking at my contenders list and I'm like, nah, you're not taking over Elden Ring. It's not happening. This is one of the greatest games I've ever played, and I could gush about it all day. We wanted to try and keep this brief, so I'm going to just say, best game ever, game of the year, guaranteed, Elden Ring. Let's just say it's game of the year now and just end the conversation. It is done. We are done. Goodbye, everybody. That's the show. No, okay. Alice, we're going to go for your top 3 right now. I just wanted to say one last thing. If you haven't played Elden Ring, if you're like, oh, Dark Souls games scare me, they're hard and all that, just, if you play Elden Ring as a sorcerer and get summons, and you will be fine. Trust me, I suck. And I managed to get to the end of it with that. That's what you want to do. You want to be a magic guy. You want to just do, like, pretend you're Voldemort, go, Abracadabra, and that, and, like, the enemies are killable. It is such a good game. You should definitely... You're
going to be disappointed.
Well, I know you haven't got it on your list because you haven't played it, so I already know that's the case, but we will...
Okay, that's 1 point spoiled for you.
And I would recommend you play it, but as you said, you're trying to save money, maybe wait till it gets on sale or something, but I would definitely recommend you play this at some point, because I'm not a Souls person, and I love this game. It is so bloody good. It's... Oh, chef's kiss. Amazing. Fantastico! So that, without further ado, I could gush about this all day. Let's jump over to Alice. What is your top 3 games of the year?
Yeah, my midterm game of the I said before
With the fur. You've got apple pop jeans
anyway.
with the fur.
Yeah. So number 3 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
Yes. I was my number 3 for like a week until I just changed it, like before the podcast started. That was my number 3 for a while.
I thought you'd be surprised by it because I only played like for less than an hour, but it actually controls very well. But I think when I played it, like it doesn't have a 16-bit soundtrack. It's just like fresh music tracks and has fluid animation. And I just, whenever I played it, it just reminds me so much, not of the Konami games, but the Scott Pilgrim game. Like how the characters look and how pixelated it is, you can definitely tell is like a follow up to the Scott Pilgrim game you get on your Xbox 360, and I think it's got a remaster for the later systems.
All right. Oh yeah. There's a new version of Scott Pilgrim out. Yeah. I really like Ninja Turtles. Such a good game. Like it's got the intro. They got the nostalgic intro, and it's like looks like the old NES, the NES and Super Nintendo games, and it's got nice artwork and nice music. Yeah, I can't blame you putting this in your number 3. This was my number 3 earlier. As I said, I'm always Leonardo. I said in the previous episode, I'm always Leonardo. And now Michelangelo's grown on me as an adult. I feel like I kind of relate to him a bit more now.
Yeah.
I relate more to Michelangelo.
Stonehead.
Yeah. I've never smoked pot or anything, but yeah, we'll say that.
But you still get the munchies though.
Yeah, I do get the munchies. That's my problem. I maybe I should start smoking weed. Maybe I should.
I think we could arrange the game for co-op because I think you have a lot more fun as a co-op mode than just a single player mode.
Yeah,
so
I might get into my top 3 then. If the co-op mode's a lot of fun, we should maybe do that later or whenever you're free. Especially because I'm isolating for a week now.
And I probably be like spending more time with my family who doesn't play video games much.
Yeah.
So
oh shit, that's a shame. So,
but I would argue that I know that people were thinking like, oh, you already put the game that's just been released recently into the top 3. Well, I can argue that if I play the likes of Elden Ring and Pokemon Arceus, then it would have been in. Horizon, the sequel, I mean, I don't care what they say about like Aloy, whatever her name is. I mean, this game is like looks really brilliant, and I would have been able to play that. Especially, I'm a fan of what's it, the developer?
Guerrilla
Yeah,
Games.
Guerrilla. Yeah, they would have. I like their games. I would have enjoyed Horizon if I chose PlayStation. So either one of these games would be a definite top 3. But what I did instead, I played a lot of I played a lot of Control, the Lego Star Wars, and Pirates of the Caribbean, and even playing the back catalogue of games that have been released about the past 2 years, especially with Unpacked.
Yeah,
I would have put Unpacked into like 3, except that one was released in November last year. Or was it December? I'm not sure. But I've been playing so much of these games that, like, the top 3s, it's going to be, like, not so much. I almost had only the top 2, but I just ended up, like, having Shredder's Revenge, and that one's really good, so it just barely fits in.
I mean, I got Horizon Forbidden West, Horizon 2. I barely played it. I played about an hour of it, 2 hours of it. Aloy is a character, I don't know, she's annoying. She didn't shut up. I'm like, can you just shut up so I can play? I just want to. That's what I like about Elden Ring. You kind of just go and just do what you want. It's an open world and it feels really free. Whereas like Horizon's open world is like it's like going to Disneyland or anything. It's like, oh, it's an open world, but you really should go over here and do this and this attraction and do this thing and this thing. I'm like, I don't care. Just let me do what I want. Don't tell me what to do. I will just do what I want, please. Yeah, I it might get into my top 3 at the end of the year though, because I've got to go back and play it, and I will give it another chance. But so far, I'm not feeling great about it. Have you ever played a game that you feel is so good in one genre that it kind of ruins other games of that genre for you? Because that's Elden Ring for me. Because ever since I played Elden Ring, I can't play other open world games because I'm like, why isn't this more like Elden Ring? Why aren't you more like Elden Ring? God damn it, Horizon! Why are you not more like Elden Ring? I can't play it since I got Elder. I need to basically have a break from open world games and then go back to it. Maybe I'll like it more then. Sorry, I've overtook your conversation. What was your number 2 or your Shredder's Revenge? If you want to talk more about Shredder's Revenge, obviously that's another option as well.
Tunic.
Tunic. Oh, I love Tunic. It's such a beautiful game.
It's really better than I expected because it's just like a simple game, but it's just a mixture of Dark Souls and Legend of Zelda, where you just go in as a tiny fox and you just like delve into the mystery, fight the enemies, and it just literally plays like Legend of Zelda, only it's like extra difficult. But I really enjoyed it.
Oh, I love it. It's such a good game.
World building matters more than the story. Like, story is good, but the world building is like so rich, and you just get to understand those particular areas, which you feel is really good. I also played like Near Automata, which is like it was released like years ago and is coming out for the Switch soon this year. I mean, it would be ridiculous if I would use that as an excuse to put in the top 3 because this is definitely one of the games that has the best world building that I have ever played. But instead, I got like Tunic in the top 3. So, like I just played it and completed it with a 1,000 gamer score. But I think the real fun about it is that you collect the pages of the manual. And you've got those clues to the puzzles which you have to work out. There's even one of the puzzles that you have to like get all the pages together, do a drawing on all of the gold paths, and you'll get to solve the biggest puzzle, which leads to the last page of the manual. So it just kind of expects you to use your brain as well as skills to get through this otherwise difficult game.
Yeah. Oh, look, I've not finished it yet. Again, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but it came out at the same time as Elden Ring, so I ended up playing. I was like playing both of them at the same time, and then Tunic kind of went on the wayside. But it is such a good game. Oh, it is a fun game, Tunic. I need to finish that. Yeah, it is a lot of fun. Like I said, Legend of Zelda, Dark Souls, it's kind of mixed between the two. It's a lovely little game, Tunic. Yeah, I so far, so good with your top 3. I'm enjoying your top 3 so far.
Thank you.
Do you want to say what your number 1 is, or do you want to talk about Tunic a little bit more?
Nah. Number 1?
Okay. Drum roll.
Skywalker Saga.
Ah, okay. I've not played it. Heard it's good, though.
Legos... Yeah, it's Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. I have not played it yet. I bought it, but based on what other people said, this is an improvement over... Well, in terms of gameplay, an improvement over the Lego Star Wars games, where they get all the 9 volumes of the Star Wars films, and they got improved gameplay, which... You get to play with all the characters, get to do missions, and I heard it's just like really special. I have received a lot of recommendations and I bought it, but I think it's the recommendations than the actual experience. Like if I were to play it, yeah, I would definitely understand why it would be in my number 1 spot. Especially it sold so well because it's a really successful Lego Star Wars game. And it's based on the recent releases where they has a open world, the improved gameplay, and it's just really good.
Okay. I haven't played it, but I've heard it's good as well. Yeah, that sounds like a fun game to play. So that's your current Game of the Year!
Yep.
The Game of the Year.
Well, the only thing is that there's some disappointment from some of the fans because they feel it's watered down, like it's not as nuanced as the Complete Saga. I've been playing the Complete Saga, where you get all the episodes and you get to play those levels. Whereas if you go to the Skywalker Saga, it's a completely remastered one, and it's like you don't get so much of the narrative and missions as you love them on the Complete Saga. but for what it's worth, you definitely get a really stellar game. And I'm really impressed of what Traveller's Tales have put into it. So this is my Game of the Year so far.
Game of the Year so far. So our games of the year so far are Elden Ring and Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know in the comments below, or in a review, or on Twitter, or however you want to badger us about your opinion. So that's our top. Those are our games of the year. What games could possibly take them out of their throne? What could dethrone these games of the year? What are our number one contenders over the next 6 months? Even though it's 5 months now because we're going into July, right? Or am I? Is my maths wrong? Doesn't matter. Point being, these are our number one contenders. Shall I go first or shall you go first? It is up to you.
You go first.
Okay, my number 3 is High on Life, the game designed by the creators of Rick and Morty, first-person shooter where guns talk to you, in space. It looks weird, it looks crazy, it looks funny as hell. I am so excited. It's probably the game I'm most excited to play this year. This is an Xbox exclusive, and probably the game I'm most excited to play, to be honest. It looks so much fun. I don't think it's going to be Elden Ring. I'm going to say that about all 3 of my games here, but it's so much fun. It looks so much fun. It looks so funny. It's like my surprise of the conference last week, or 2 weeks ago, and it looks like a brilliant game. What you guys? Are you excited for High on Life, or have you or what do you think?
I kind of forgot about it.
Fair enough. Wow, okay. I mean, I think it looks great. I'm hoping it's going to be good. Fingers crossed. I'm hoping it's going to be good. What's your number 3 then, Alice?
Number 3 is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Woo!
I know I'd been talking about how I got less interested in it, but I just feel that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, they literally made the gameplay better, and I'm hoping they will be a fully fledged game than Sword and Shield. But I think what really is going to sell the whole thing to me is you can finally do online multiplayer on the open world. So I feel this is what really attracts people back into the Pokemon craze.
So I mean, it's got.
But sorry,
no, I was going to say it's a big open world, and it's got a lot of inspirations from Arceus, and it's also got all the best features of the newer ones. Do you want to know a secret?
What's that?
This is my number 1.
Oh.
Oh well. Oh well. No, it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, Pokemon. I'm very excited for Pokemon. This is the game. I think if any game is going to take over the game of the year in my eyes, it's Pokemon Scarlet or Violet, because I'm with you. It looks good. It looks really interesting. This might be the Arceus killer. It might be the Elden Ring killer. I don't think it'll be the Elden Ring killer. Let's be honest. But God, it looks good. It looks like a lot of fun. Fuecoco is adorable, and I will protect it with my life. Fuecoco fan for
I
life.
prefer. I like the Sprigato, which is a weed
the
cat.
weed cat. Yeah, I was gonna say weed cat.
Please make it a final evolution to be grass and fire, and it'll be so lit.
That's just good. With a spliff in its mouth or something, that'd be just hilarious. Yeah.
There's a meme of that Sprigato where there's a final evolution that's got Garfield repainted green,
yes,
with, like red eyes. Yeah.
That's the thing with the Pokemon fan base. Is like, please don't make it stand on its hind legs. Don't make it like a 2-legged cat, like a humanoid cat. Please don't. That's what everyone's scared is going to happen. I'm like, oh, well, I don't care. I'm all about Fuecoco, man. The fire crocodile who looks derpy as hell. He looks amazing. I can't wait. I'm usually a grass starter, but I think I really fancy this Fuecoco. I think it looks really cool. I mean, that's my.
It's gonna be like I think it's gonna be my second game of the entire Pokemon franchise. I used to like go for water starters for the first 4 generations. 5th generation got a grass starter because it's a smug snake.
Yeah.
Then next 2 generations I went for like fire starters because I like that fox Pokemon. I like that Pokemon that evolves into turning a tiger. And Sword and Shield, rabbit, because obviously my Chinese zodiac being a rabbit and Squad Bunny is amazing. But now it's the weed cat that's going to be my pick when I get this game.
You're a twisted.
So anything that's on, yeah. But the biggest reason why it's on free because I was let down by Pokemon games, and I need to be convinced if this game is going to play better than what I expect it to be.
That's fair.
Like, there's an open world, there's online multiplayer, but I need to know if this is going to be a solid game. Like, if it's going to have a complete national dex and even has the features that is not, like, bloating it. Because if you think about the Unix approach, it has to fulfill that particular feature, which is, like, you do battles and catching. And this is what Black and White did well. Like, when they throw in lots of Pokemon and lots of different modes, it's just like, I just don't want to get through this. I just want to catch and battle. And this is what I most want from Scarlet and Violet. So,
I mean, Pokemon Arceus is essentially all it is catching and battling. So that's also an option for you. But yeah, I think it looks amazing. I'm very excited for it. I'm a Pokemon fanatic. I mean, I feel like everyone has that one game that they're like, they know is not the best, but they'll play it every year anyway. Like there's the people who play FIFA every year or play Call of Duty every year. I'm the person who plays Pokemon every year. Even if I know it's crap, I'm still going to play it. It's just I'm addicted to it. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm excited for it. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be. I'm hoping it's going to be a bit different, a bit fresh, a bit of a new take on it. Spain is what it looks like. It's based in Spain. The cover monsters look cool. I'm probably gonna go for Violet because it's the futuristic one. Yeah, it looks cool. I'm excited for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. That's my number 1 game.
Well, both of us are planning to get Violet anyway, so we have to look to someone else who's got Scarlet exclusives. This is going to be fun.
Knowing me, I'll probably end up buying Scarlet as well at some point because I know what I'm like. I'm a bloody Pokemon whore.
Talking from someone who doesn't like lots of microtransactions, but's definitely still got money to buy both versions, even though it takes double the time to complete the game.
I know I'm a hypocrite. Just send me hate mail. That's fine. It's not microtransactions; they're big transactions. That's the difference.
Well,
it's not
I think this is what it's called.
60 pounds.
Yeah. But I think this is what they call leaving luck to heaven.
Okay, I don't know what that means, but I will believe that. So that was my number 1. That was your number 3, right? So I don't know how we're going to do this going forward now.
Well, you state your 2, and I state 2 and 1.
Okay, sounds good.
Easy.
Sounds good to me. So my number 2 is Plague Tale Requiem, the good version of Last of Us Part 2. The game that might be actually decent, which is not Last of Us Part 2. It has the same kind of cover system and it has actual likable characters and good story writing to it. So I'm excited for it.
And yet people are pre-ordering Last of Us 1 Remaster, and yet they have not checked out Plague Tale.
It annoys the crap out of me, it really does. I made a video about why you shouldn't buy Last of Us Remake. Main reason being it's a cash grab con and you're better off buying the remaster, which is older but it's like has extra modes and it looks better and it's cheaper and it's free on PlayStation Plus. Why would you buy the remake? It doesn't make sense.
Well, you did a video about it.
I did.
And one of the people hated it.
Well, I don't care what they say. I'm right. They're wrong.
That's because, like, they feel it's just like hating on it and saying why when it could have been like pros and cons. But then you did like explain very well in that video.
And in that video, I talk about how much I love The Last of Us Part 1, so that's bullshit. How can they say that?
Yeah.
I said how much I liked it, so that's a lie. Anyway,
It could be. It's coming from someone who hasn't really owned a PlayStation, but favors Last of Us Part 2. To me, it is definitely like one of the most overrated games ever.
I hate it. I hate The Last of Us Part 2. I get out because I'm always on the PlayStation podcast, PSP Trust, and I argue with those guys so much about it. I'm like, oh, I cannot stand The Last of Us Part 2. It is so bad. I hate it. Just no.
Well,
I hate it.
I've somehow brought it up with the actual real PlayStation fans, and they did actually state their skepticalism about it. Like one of them saying, like, if it's going to be a one remake of Last of Us Part 1, okay, remaster. No, it's remake. It's remake, isn't it? Anyway,
the remaster's already has been out for 10 years, or 8 years. There is already a remaster that's been out, and it's decent.
They said, yeah, if it's a 1.1 remake of Last of Us Part 1, then it's not worth the 70 quid.
Definitely not.
So many of them, it's just like, gonna see if it actually like gets better with the gameplay, because I think some argued and defended it, saying like, oh, it's going to have some improvements over it. But, I mean, you're literally talking about the same kind of game. So if they're going to say as if they're going to be remaking it, then they've got to do something different with the gameplay. So, because if you say to me, like, oh, it's got better graphics, it's got improved parts of the story, well, that shit's not going to be enough for it, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
buy the game on the PlayStation 4.
Exactly.
So what's the problem with that?
Get the remaster. It's free on PS Plus, or it's £15 on Amazon. Just do that. Makes me
or go to Computer Exchange store and you would find it there.
Yeah, so I already this is all I've said, and also in the video I explained that the biggest leap in gameplay is the fact that you can lay down. So you're paying 70 quid to lay down in a game. Whoop-de-doo. Yeah, but let's just try and get... I don't know how we do it, but every single episode of Xbox the Box, I managed to slag off The Last of Us Part 2, and we also seem to manage to talk about Halo Infinite, even if we're not playing it. Every week. We manage to do it every week. Okay, so, yeah. Fuck The Last of Us Part 2. God, sorry.
Yeah, I thought I was the one who speaks too much about Minecraft.
Oh yeah, you talk about Minecraft a lot as well. That's another thing that's part of the podcast, and I swear too much. So yeah. Anyway, let's get back on track because Plague Tale Requiem, fuck Last of Us. Plague Tale Requiem looks really fun. You play as Alicia with your little brother Hugo. It continues 6 months on from the end of the last game, which Plague Tale Innocent. In a Plague Tale Innocent, you try to avoid killing people because you're a little girl and you have a slingshot and all that. And it's really fun stealth game. This game, she's gone like psycho bitch now, which is awesome. You got like a crossbow, and you can like set people on fire, and you can stab people in the neck. Yeah, it looks sick. It looks dope as hell, and you can still control rats as well in this one. It looks really fun. Because essentially, if you don't know what the Plague Tale is, it's a third person stealth game, and instead of having zombies, you've got rats everywhere, like plague rats from like the Black Plague, and then also you have humans who are chasing you down, which are the Inquisition. No one expects the Spanish Inquisition, but they're really good. It's a scary game. It's a good action game. It's very underrated. I feel the first one is so underrated. I love the first one, and it deserves more praise than it gets. I feel like it is an underrated gem, and the new one looks so good. I can't wait. Have you seen it? Have you seen any of the footage for it?
I only seen it through the showcase.
Yeah. Well, I think it's worth. There's a 10-minute demo now showing how it plays. If you have any interest in it, I would recommend checking it out because it just looks like a fun stealth game with. They got all these new mechanics now, like the crossbow and stuff, which makes it interesting, which is going to be fun. Yeah, that's my number 2. So let's get to your number 2 and number 1, I guess, Alice. What games do you think could be Game of the Year?
Marvel Midnight Suns.
Ooh, I forgot about that game. That game, yeah. Isn't that like the XCOM / card game kind of Marvel game, right?
Yeah,
Looks
and
fun.
I just feel it just gets better. But this is coming from someone who played XCOM 2 to death, because I think they did well with the turn-based combat. Like, I played a lot of Civilization, and Civilization Revolution is one of my most played games ever, even though people may have forgotten about it on the Xbox 360. But XCOM 2 is like really fun. Yeah, you have absolute luck and try to like kill the enemies. It's just like, wow, this is just suspense. But I think the Midnight Suns just kind of runs into it. Like, it's licensed, it's got cards, but I would imagine it would probably like take the best bits of XCOM 2 and a DLC and turn it into a stellar game. But like with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I'll be relying on the reviews to see if it's actually praised by other people. But it is multi-platform, and I reckon this would probably be like really interesting. But I think I would just like say, yeah, this one's got potential, and I like XCOM, so that remains to be my top 2.
I mean, that seems like a really good choice. I've not followed it much, but it looks fun. I mean, I love the fact that like the Xbox account said Spider-Man's coming to Xbox. I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was funny. It's like, yay! We're finally getting Spider-Man on Xbox. Like, because like they always seem to leave him out on our console, which is not nice. It's just mean and spiteful. But yeah,
30 years ago, you get Spider-Man games on Sega Mega Drive, and you got a Spider-Man cameo in Revenge of Shinobi.
What?
Now it's just like, oh, the Spider-Man's gonna be around and probably appear most on the PlayStation.
well, the people who made the last Spider-Man games before Sony were Activision, and Xbox are about to buy Activision, so we might be able to get some Spider-Man games back on Game Pass. You never know. And some slightly older ones, which are not as good, but hey, it'd be nice to have some Spider-Man on Xbox. That would be fun. What is your Game of the Year number 1 contender?
Well, you're not gonna believe it.
What?
Stray.
Stray. Oh, okay. Interesting. Stray. Okay, that's the third-person open world cat simulator. Sort of.
Put it this way,
Looks fun.
there isn't like a lot to play on Xbox this year.
No.
And I think Sony is a particular threat in this. Nintendo Switch, I don't know how many games, but they're also a threat to Xbox. But PlayStation has got things going on, and it looks like they're probably going to end up like having some bigger exclusives. So it's just like quality over quantity. But Stray is just a subversive thing where you have a cyberpunk world and you go around as a cat. So it's just really interesting.
I think it looks
but it's
fun.
not unique. It's not unique because there's definitely games where you play as a cat, and there's also Spirit of the North, which you can get on Xbox Series X, which is a remastered one where you get to play as a fox. And this is definitely one of the games that I'm trying to play in the moment. But Stray is just like, interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
It does look interesting. I'm kind of surprised by the choice, but at the same time, I'm not really. To know how much you like cat stuff, and I mean, it does look fun.
Well, it's actually driven by hype, where people are so excited to get Stray. It could be the worst game of the year, but I just have to see to that. And I think this one might probably get people interested in it. But then I think it just comes from the community who is like biased with the PlayStation and thinking they make good games. But then who knows? I mean, there could be a surprise hit with the Xbox and may end up being the game of the year. So
Yeah. You never know. I mean, so there are our top threes. So yours was Stray, mine was Pokemon. You never know. I mean, I made a big list of other games coming out. Callisto Protocol, which is like Dead Space, that could be game of the year. God of War could be Game of the Year. Is it coming out this year is the question. I have heard from reliable sources that it is coming out Q1 next year, February or whatever, but you know, it might come out this year.
So The Last of Us Part 1, is this coming out this year?
Unfortunately, yes. Yeah.
Would you rather buy it instead of... would you either buy it or would you rather buy vegan food?
Oh, that's a hard choice. I hate both of them so much. Don't make me choose. I hate them both.
There's no third option, so you have to pick one
vegan
of them.
food. I'll buy vegan food. Screw it. I'll just cover it in ketchup.
That's easy. Go for plant-based burgers.
Yeah.
They will work.
Ooh. No. Ew. I love burgers. Don't ruin burgers for me. But no, I refuse to buy The Last of Us Part 1. I know a lot of... My green screen's falling over now. Cool. I know a lot of people are really excited for The Last of Us Part 1 remake, but I'm like, I don't get it. You're kind of the reason why the game industry is so boring and stale. Not you, the people who like it. The reason why...
Well, you did surprise me, though, because I thought you would end up buying Last of Us Part 1 than vegan food, anyway.
No. I feel like, principles-wise, I feel like my principle of being... trying to buy good games and not support shitty business practices is more important than what I eat, honestly. Yeah.
But I think it's definitely like, oh, you got... I would rather spend 70 quid on the week's worth of vegan food than, like, Last of Us Part 1.
That's
so
true.
that definitely explains it. That just shows, like, how worthless that remake is. I was going to say remaster.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's good for people who are on PC, I suppose. But I'm like, why? But I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why you would remake The Last of Us Part 1. I get because people will buy it, I guess. But I feel like, why did you remake the Uncharted one? Because that game actually does need a remake. It doesn't. You know, there's so many games they could have remade. It's just cash grabby and shitty, and it's the same thing as 343 being cash grabby and shitty as well. And it makes me sad. It makes me sad. I miss the older days of game. I miss being younger when games were so microtransaction-y and reboot and like so shitty. I'm not.
it's basically the lesser of two evils, I guess.
Yeah, it's upsetting.
But then you have like Fortnite as well, so.
So yeah, so there's also what was I saying? So this year, God of War Ragnarok. Neither of us said that as our top 3. I don't think it's coming this year. That's my thing. I said I've heard from reliable sources that it's coming out Q1, so it's still going to be this like tax year or calendar year or like financial year, but not actual year. I think it's going to come out February, March time. I think is what I've heard. Splatoon 3. Splatoon 3 might be quite good. Yeah, that's it really. Can't really think of anything. I'm sure.
I think we need to wrap up now because I got to go.
Yeah, I was going to say we should wrap up the episode now anyway. So, thank you guys for watching. I really enjoyed this episode with you, Alice. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And until next time, too sweet.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to the X Marks the Box podcast. Follow me on Twitter @PotatoChief or on YouTube @PotatoChief, or follow us on all podcast services. Thank you for listening.